Turn that frown upside down. You have found your way to the Stuff Worth Trying podcast with your host, T-Boy and the Job.
Looking good, Italian Job.
I'm feeling good, Tommy boy. How are you, brother?
If I was any better, I'd be twins. Big weekend coming up. Grow Ruck right around the corner. This time tomorrow, I will be in Hampton Roads. Lucky enough to road trip it up there in the clown car with Akron. Great crew, great bunch. This is going to be a little bit different. We're looking at numbers in the low 40s attendance wise, which, as you know, it's just a really awesome dynamic. You have a lot more of a captive audience in every phase of it. More opportunity to not hide back in the crowd. Even if you're an introvert like me, you can get yourself out there and you can't hide. So you're going to meet new people. You're going to have new experiences to benefit from and to give away. Yeah. I'm just fired up to share more stories when we come back and hear the stories from the guys during Grow School. So
I can't tell you how excited I am. I'm seeing the FOMO is real on my side because I've seen the names of the guys who are coming to this event, not just the cadre and the trainers. Many of them I know personally, you being one of them, but some of the attendees that are coming. I mean, this is going to, I'll be honest with you, this might be the best one or in the top three, just from what I'm feeling. And I think this is going to be a good one. I'm going to be tuning in. You're going to be broadcasting a bit on Facebook Live, right? So I can see it from my house, several hundred miles away, but I'll be able to kind of check in, right?
Yeah, we'll be dropping. We plan actually quite a bit. So Beauty and myself will be chipping in throughout the night. We'll be giving shout outs. If you want to relay a message, we can probably sneak something past the cadre. Don't tell Akron. But yeah, there's obviously moments in a grow ruck training experience that are sacred. So we won't interfere with any of that. But yes, plenty to see and do, plenty to talk about, plenty of engagement opportunities, plenty of mumble chatter opportunities. So awesome. Let her rip. Awesome. Yeah, we will see you throughout the night. You'll be missed, but I promise you, as my podcast wife, I will return to you, even though I'll spend a weekend with Beauty.
Well, I'll be surprised if you come back after spending time with that high impact man. Stud. Yes. What a stud. What are we talking about today? Who are we talking to and what are we talking about?
Speaking of studs, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We had a great conversation a few episodes back with Two Buck out of Tennessee in the Muletown region. So we brought him back on once again when putting the ask out on the Slack channel, who's doing stuff worth trying in their region that has the cojones to come on and talk about it. First guy out, Two Buck. And so Two Buck, welcome back to Stuff We're Trying as we dive into F3 Bingo, brother.
Thank you, guys. Glad to be on, man.
Good to have you. Good to have you. I know we've done it before, but for any longtime listeners, first-time callers, let's go through a name-orama and how you got your F3 name.
All right. Chad Klein, 42, Two Buck.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
So where'd the name come from? I got my theories, but go ahead and let it rip.
Yeah. Two Buck Chuck. I used to work for a winery. Worked for a winery for about 20 years and did a number of different odd jobs, but Two Buck Chuck was not one of our brands. So just it's a good fit. It was a better option compared to some of the other ones that were thrown out there during the day, during my first beat down. So I was happy to get stuck with Two Buck rather than some of the other options.
I mean, you could have been Franzia, you could have been Boxed Wine. I mean, you could have been Boone's Farm. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
One of my favorite people in F3 Greensboro is a wine connoisseur. He's down in Florida now, but F3 Boone's Farm for that exact reason.
Yep.
Is he in Jacksonville?
Solid. Yes, sir.
Okay. I may have posted with him a number of times. My brother lives in Jacksonville, so I've been down there been down there for a few posts.
Yeah, there's another guy in Jacksonville, Bartles and James.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And Bartles and James was in my platoon in Louisville, actually.
Nice.
Two Buck, you got to head back down there and have some sort of like a wine off. At
Yeah.
Who can drink a bottle of wine the fastest and then sprint 400 meters?
There will be Merlot. There will be Merlot splashed. I guarantee it. If that's the case,
it has to be through a straw too. It can't just be. All right, my friend. So, like I said, you answered the call once again. F3 Bingo. Look, we're not reinventing the wheel here, but Obviously, we all know what bingo is, but tell us a little bit about what makes this different, just in case any region is kind of scratching their heads. Give us that 30,000-foot view.
Yeah. First, great disclaimer. I did not invent this. Saw it from somebody else, and I wish I could remember where it came from. So if you're hearing this and you're like, shoot, that was me, kudos to you. Thank you for inventing that and for allowing us to just be free to lead and rip it off and to develop it ourselves. So really a very simple format, a bingo square. We did a 6x6 and created, a 6x6 opportunity for someone to get 36 opportunities to either post or do something that would allow them to, X off that square. And every, bingo sideways, up and down, diagonal, or full blackout would result in one bingo. And just using the honor system, if they, at the end of the month, had a bingo, then they got their name into the hat one time. If they got a bingo, if they got a blackout, we would give them bonus bingos, and that would equal bonus names into the hat, so to speak. And at the end, we had 3 prizes, and those prizes were, drawn at random, or the winners were drawn at random for those prizes. So it generated a lot of engagement, really. And one of the rules that we created was, there was 1 square for bringing an FNG. If you brought more than 1 FNG, then you got 2 basically like freebie squares. You could cross off any of them that you wanted to. We allowed guys to use their DR posts as, squares for AO posting within Muletown. But you had to be legit DR. You couldn't be just going to another region locally. You had to be out of town. True to form, you got a bunch of guys looking to compete. They're going to find ways to, I wouldn't say shortcut, but ask a lot of clarifying questions like, hey, does this count for being DR, or does this count for my 5K, or does this count for, so we had to be flexible with it throughout the month. But by far, August was the month that we did this, was our largest growth month. Obviously, other than just when we started, but before August, we were probably averaging 10 to 12 guys per AO per day. We have 6 AOs. Each AO meets 1 day per week. And then through the month of August, we were averaging about 20. So it didn't double, but it was a huge, huge growth opportunity. A lot of new guys showing up, getting involved. And a lot of old guys who hadn't been around as well came back. So we had to bring a Cotter back to into the fold, was one of the squares as well.
Nice.
So was the goal to get new guys out, or was the goal to increase the numbers or bring some of the old guys back? I mean, what was the intent of the bingo board? Because we see what happened. We saw the outcome, but what was the initial intention for the bingo board in August?
Well, as an SLT, we have focuses for each of our months. So the month of August was a first F focus. So really, on paper, the intent was, how do we get engagement at all of our AOs from guys that are maybe only showing up, to the Murph Monday or to our Saturday flagship AO? How do we get them involved in more AOs and on a more frequent basis? One of our squares was post for 15, post for 20 days for the month. So we had guys that were, 5 posts a month now showing up 5 times in a week, So it was really to drive engagement with a first F focus.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you're going to hit all over the place, which is awesome. I love that it reaped multiple benefits, especially in August. I see around here, you've got your summer guys, you got your winter guys, you got your guys that are year round. But to see a bunch of dudes come out in the middle of August and
the hottest month in that part of Tennessee. I mean, that's something too.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. And the idea of the whole competition piece too. Like you said, everybody loves a good competition, and then of course you've got a lot of clarifying questions to make sure that you're squeezing as much blood out of that rock as you can.
Yeah.
So I know this is your first time doing it. From the early iterations to completing it at the end of August, did it grow? Did it morph at all throughout that planning phase? And then once it was ready, how did you pull that trigger and get it out there?
Yeah, as we were designing it, so during the planning phase, we had some longer runs in there, like run a half marathon. And we took some of those things out and we replaced it with more second F focused ideas. So it wasn't just first F. So we have a monthly second F lunch, so attending that was a square. The idea of having prizes was something we really kicked around. Like, do we want to financially motivate people to do this? And we kind of hemmed and hawed on that a little bit, but ultimately decided, yeah, it's fun. You like doing things for a prize. And so we made sure that they were things that, one, weren't really, like, we didn't want to hand somebody $50 cash, Yep. So we had prizes that someone could walk away with. One of them being like an F3 gift card to the F3 gift store, or the gear store. One of them was a lunch or a meal with an SLT member of your choosing. So it's just, things like that weren't, like I said, we didn't want to just hand out cash and be like, hey, you're going to win $50. So that was something that we were kind of sensitive about. And then, the process of recording, do we want to make it something super official like Iron Packs where you're recording it and submitting it? Or is this just honor system? And we resorted to honor system, but at the end of the day, it was cool. Guys were posting pictures and updates of their bingo cards on Slack, showing the progress. Some guys were like, you're not going to know until I'm done. And, but we knew it. Yeah, we knew those were the guys that as coy as they're trying to be, we're like, you're going to get a blackout. It's obvious. We can see you're attending every single day. You're doing it all. So we know what you're going for. So there's really as secret as as private as they're trying to be, you could tell,
Did you have any unexpected outcomes?
Honestly, I wasn't expecting as many FNGs as we got. Like, it was really, really incredible to see guys just pushing hard to get that blackout, and knowing that they weren't going to be able to post all the time. They were using that FNG, double up as a way to get that blackout. And it was really good to see, though, a lot of guys coming as a result of that. And, a lot of regulars using that as, some guys were like, look, man, I've been asking you to come for a long time and you haven't posted. I need a bingo square. So just come and humor me. Like just unashamedly, putting it out there, just not beating around the bush anymore. Like, I need a bingo square and you're my bingo square. So please come.
Yeah. Pack your bags for the guilt trip and let's go.
Yeah.
Well, I dig it. A lot of this reminds me, I can't remember the exact episode, but when we had Heidi and Cosmo on from Spring Hill, and we talked about open house. And so this is another way to engage FNGs in everything that F3 is about. It goes beyond just the workout phase, takes them through all three Fs, and gives them an opportunity in a quick way, like rapid fire almost, to experience everything that Muletown is about. I dig that.
I will, a lot. I'll double down on that. They're doing a 2-month activity up in Spring Hill. They're calling it, I'm going to butcher this, but it's like Ready to Rumble, fall Rumble or something like that. And it's a point system that their guy MapQuest, he's their second FQ, and Kwame, and I'm sure others have been involved in creating it. It's a laundry list of, 60 plus things that are very PAX specific, so like, you got to beat so-and-so at a sprint to the finish at this AO, or you've got to post at all the AOs. It's just very, very specific and unique to Spring Hill. That I think is awesome. Getting Kwame or MapQuest on here is going to be worth your while here in the next couple of episodes as they get, halfway through this iteration or whatever it is they're doing, their fall Rumble Fest. It's going to be awesome. And I'm looking to R&D that as well. So
yeah, no doubt. Well, look at you coming on and giving it away once again. That's a double. And that might be, we got a third episode coming up. We were talking offline. I think if we can get you on here a total of 5 times, you'll be our first SWT 5-timer club member. So
let's do it, man.
Figure it out. We'll have to get your measurements for the smoking jacket.
Yes, absolutely.
You look like about a 40 reg would be my guess. Maybe 39 reg.
Yeah, I like a slim 40. Yeah.
40
deep
reg,
pockets,
slim.
Deep pockets. Well, listen, $2 before we let you go, we always like to ask at the end of the day, why is F3 bingo something stuff worth trying?
Yeah, man. Well, if you're in a stagnant point of growth in your region, whether it's just numbers growth or engagement growth, right? I mean, you can have a lot of numbers, but not have a lot of depth. I feel like this did a great job of developing both of those. We got numbers and we got guys that continue to come back. You know, I don't want FNGs just for the sake of FNGs. I want guys that are going to be coming and sticking around, and then in turn continuing to give it away. You know, I can think of a couple of guys really, Plexiglass, Castaway. These are two guys that brought a lot of FNGs during that month, and they're FNGs that have stuck around. You know, and that's what matters to me. You know, the one and done. You know, maybe they'll come back again, but that's a lot of effort, you know? And so when you get a guy that sticks around, you know, that growth then becomes exponential. So it's definitely worth trying as a way to see growth in numbers and in depth.
Awesome. I like it a lot. I just checked the Steve, and open house was episode 35 for anybody who's taking notes at home. So check out that one as well. You'll get a good filling taste of what Tennessee is all about across the state, border to border. Yeah, Italian Job, without putting you on the spot.
Yeah, man, I actually have something. And it goes really well with what we're talking about here. It was something that I came across a couple of days ago, sometime earlier this week. It was called 3 Simple Rules in Life. 1, if you don't go after what you want, you'll never have it. 2, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. And 3, if you don't step forward, you're always in the same place. So this is that momentum. This is actually being cognizant and being intentional about doing something. By putting that bingo board out there, what you're saying is, I'm going to set a goal. I'm going to go after it. What you're saying is, I don't know if my neighbor is going to be an FNG, but I got to ask him. The answer is always no unless you ask the question. And then the last piece, if you don't move forward, you're always in the same spot. If you don't try to do something different, then how are you going to change? How are you going to grow? How are you going to expand your knowledge? How are you going to get stronger? If you stay where you are, you're never going to get where you want to be. So I think that lines up incredibly well with today's, you know, conversation. And Tubuck, as always, an honor to have you on the program, on the Stuff We're Trying podcast. Love to have you again. I'm sure there'll be another opportunity, but I'd be remiss if I didn't leave you with the final thoughts. Do you have anything to add on top of what we've already talked about?
Yeah, man. I'm only as good as the guys around me. So I'm here because I got a great SLT. I got great AOQs. I got great men that are part of Muletown. So I'm just their mouthpiece. And I love it. I love being a part of F3 Muletown. But the things that we're doing can't be done without the guys that I got around me. So surround yourself with good men, and you'll go far.
It takes me back to old parental advice, right? You're only as good as your friends, so you better hang out with good people because somebody's always watching.
Right, man.
I dig it. Be the buffalo and charge into that storm. Well, listen, fellas, it's always good to be with you. Behind the curtain, I know that Tubuck is on a staycation, so we're going to let you get back to your family. As always, thanks for carving out time. Italian Job, I'll carry a picture of you in my ruck this weekend, so you know I'm thinking about you. And
well, hey, enjoy this weekend. Those numbers, I think that's exactly where you're going to want to be. I think you're going to have some stories, and I think some lives are going to be changed this weekend. I've got FOMO. I want to be there, man. But I know that you're going to be where you need to be. The guys that are going to be there are going to get something that they're not expecting. It's going to be a life-changing experience. Someone is going to get unlocked this weekend, and they're going to come back to their family as a changed man. And those are the stories. Those are the stories that keep us moving forward, to see that one guy unlocked, become who he was meant to be. And I'm excited to hear about it.
100%. All right, Podpaxers, be good, but be good at it. We'll see you next week.
See you, man.